Wouldn't it be cool if you could go into a cellar and just see 3 loot goblins? Nope. Just see 2 loot goblins? And then just do that over and over and over again in order to farm, well, everything you could ever want. Well, today, it's not quite that extreme, but it certainly is the best way to not only make this happen as often as possible, but the best general farm loop that you can do in Diablo 4, thanks to, let's call it, creative use of game mechanics. So yeah, you can do the best XP farm, you can do the best legendary farm, the best unique farm, the best rare farm to have the gear with the ideal rolls on them. You can do the best gold farm, the best obol farm, etc. and so on. Today though, we're going to look at all of those and just go, yes, because this at once is the best way to do all of those things at the same time. To get gold, to get XP, to get legendaries, to get uniques, to get endless piles of gear, to make not only, progressing much quicker and easier, but to make building any given build much quicker and easier, and generally just making your life in Diablo 4 much nicer. So how and what and why and where? Let's get straight into this. Your first step is to do the Nightmare Dungeon, let's call it glitch, I suppose, where you can use Nightmare Dungeons to make it so that when you leave any other given instance, either a dungeon or a cellar, it resets instantly for when you go back in, instead of you having to either relog or waiting a fair while in-game. This is key for a couple of reasons. It means we can chain farm things with a experience potion on, because relogging gets rid of it, and it means we can chain farm things much faster because there is no downtime waiting for it to reset, so we can find the best thing to do and then just do it on loop. And previously we did use that to do the best dungeon in nightmare mode on loop, and that's incredibly effective. But you can actually do something a little bit different, and it involves a bit of farming in the normal overworld, which sounds crazy, but actually works incredibly well. So, go to a nightmare dungeon, any single one, any sigil of your choice, it doesn't matter, use it and hop inside. Then you simply need to just wait 10 to 15 seconds. Once that's done, you just want to teleport out of the dungeon to our location of farm. And what is that location? Well, essentially what you're looking for is anywhere that there is a cellar right next to an event spawn. Once those conditions are met, you can, well, do what we're about to do. I do, however, have a recommendation for you as one that I believe to be the best, primarily because the monsters that spawn here are spiders 90% of the time, both in the cellar and the event we'll be doing. So head to Virez and follow my path down to here. We want the swarmed mineshaft, and then just to the right and a little bit up is a perpetual event spawn. So why spiders? Why do I mention that? Well, spiders, by and large, out of all monster types, give the most experience, so that makes them very effective to kill on loop. Why do we care about an event then? Well, the thing is, it goes thusly. You arrive at the area, you do the event. Events and cellars have very high mob density, so we get lots of kill per time. Lots of elites too, lots of gear, lots of experience. So if we can just do them on loop, obviously that really helps us out, as well as the obols for gambling to target uniques and legendary affixes that we're after. In any case, you do the event, it will either be a wandering soul or a snake spirit event, but in either case you will get swarms of spider enemies, well, swarming you. Once it's beaten, head to the cellar and clear the cellar. That's all well and good, takes like 10 seconds, and by the way, the cellar is worth about 50,000 experience in those 10 seconds, which, starts approaching 20 million an hour territory, which is pretty nutty. Then you leave the dungeon via the wheel, as that's quickest, and then lo and behold the event will be back, so you go do the event. Do the event again, get the resplendent chest, get all of the drops, get all of the gold, all of the good stuff, and then go back to the cellar. And as a bonus tip here, if there are other players clearing the event, you don't actually have to stay anymore. You can just immediately go back to the cellar and get another cheeky clear in, because you'll do it fast enough that the event will still be happening when you get back, and you can just return in time to get the chest. Now is why we did the glitch, because now the cellar will be reset instead of just already cleared. So now we can clear the cellar again, grab everything, teleport out, oh, do the event again. And you see where this is going. You exist in a perpetual loop of clear the event, get the obols and the chest loot and all of the mob drops and the experience, go down to the cellar, get the same, and then just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This results in an insanely efficient way to get mountains of gear, to get mountains of gold, and really healthy amounts of XP. And obviously with this much gear dropping and with the obols that you're getting, you can really power target farm legendaries and uniques, which is really the icing on the cake here. It's such an effective way to go, and honestly a refreshing difference from just farming the same dungeon over and over again, or doing nightmares if you're wanting a little break from that. It really works wondrously, and I would recommend getting this in while you still can, before the nightmare dungeon reset trick is ultimately, and it definitely will be, fixed. And, as I said, because we are consistently going into the cellar every minute or so, that means every minute we are rolling the chance for the cellar to be a special cellar. A special cellar like, yes, the loot goblins. You will get one on average, one every half an hour doing this. You can also get events in the cellar, which, apart from being even more density of high XP spider enemies, means another resplendent chest for you at the end. You can even have butcher visits, and just generally, if you could do a cellar endlessly, it would just be the best place to be in the game, because they are that good for time to mob density, drops, and everything else that comes with that. So, yeah, definitely something to think about, something I would recommend, and in terms of all-around progress, getting everything you care about at Endgame at once in the fastest, most efficient way, this takes the crown. You're going to get 70 legendaries or so an hour. You're going to get hundreds and hundreds of res Ancestral to roll those stats and get good drops of. You're going to get about 20 million gold. You're going to get about 10 to 20 million XP. And you are going to have a great time in the process. At least, if you like this kind of thing. There is also technically another much more sort of involved experience glitch bug thing, but I really am on the fence whether I want to share that. Obviously, plenty of other people already have, but I think that one's a little bit more, okay, you're pushing it, so we'll see where that lands. Oh, and occasionally the event won't be reset when you leave the cellar, in which case you just do the cellar again until it is reset and there when you emerge, no problem whatsoever. In any case, I hope you found this useful and have a go. Let me know how you get on if you do. Like if you enjoyed this, and subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.